Have you ever pondered about the events that transpired in Eastern Europe post-World War II? As the lingering fumes of battle dissipated, a new breed of conflict to materialize. The victorious and unyielding Soviet troops refused to leave the lands they had freed. An iron curtain, as formidable a barrier as any wall, plummeted upon the eastern half of the continent. Behind this curtain, Iosif Vissarionovich Stalin, the man who had led the Soviets through the fires of war, became the architect of a new kind of torment. His torment was not a physical battleground, but a confinement of millions behind bars. The Soviet Gulag, a chilling echo of the concentration camps that had scarred the previous years. These people were torn from their homes and families, many never return. But amidst this panorama of despair and oppression, a spark was ignited. In the shadow of the Carpathian Mountains in Romania, young men, freshly dismissed from the army, refused to bow to totalitarianism. And in this oppressive atmosphere, a glimmer of resistance emerged. In the shadow of the Carpathian Mountains, a different kind of war was brewing. And as the echoes of World War II began to fade, a new battle cry arose from the rugged peaks and valleys of Romania. Young men, wearied by the horrors of war yet unbroken in spirit, returned from the army only to find their homeland under the oppressive thumb of Soviet influence. They were unwilling to exchange one form of tyranny for another, so they retreated to the mountains, the familiar contours of their homeland, and chose to fight on. Their cause was freedom and democracy, ideals they believed were worth risking everything for. Among these brave souls were men like Ion Gavrila Ogoranul, who found solace and strength in the mountains of Fagaras, and the Susman brothers, who became beacons of resistance in the Huedin region. There was Gavrila Vatamaniuk, whose indomitable spirit was as unyielding as the rocky landscapes of Bukovina. And let's not forget Gogu Puyu, who held his ground in Dobrogea. These men were more than just partisans. They were guardians of liberty, defenders of human dignity, and embodiments of resilience. Their weapons were not just guns, but their unshakable belief in a better, freer future. Amid the grim shadow of totalitarianism, they dared to hope, they dared to resist, and most importantly, these men dared to stand tall in a time when many were forced to bow. Their fight wasn't a swift one, it was a long, drawn-out struggle for freedom. Over 2 decades, these brave men waged a relentless resistance against the iron grip of communism. They were the unsung heroes of the Carpathian Mountains, their spirits unbroken, their resolve unyielding. Every day was a battle. The mountainous terrain was treacherous, the weather unforgiving. Yet, they persevered. They navigated the treacherous slopes, endured the harshest winters, and survived on the meagerest of resources. They were not just fighting against an oppressive regime, but against the very elements themselves. They knew the odds were stacked against them, yet they fought on. Their weapons were often primitive, their numbers few, but their courage was boundless. They were driven by a profound belief in freedom and democracy. Their every action, every sacrifice was a testament to their unwavering commitment to these ideals. These men, like Ion Gavrila Ogoranul in the mountains of Fagaras, the Susman brothers in the Huedin region, Gavrila Vatamaniuk in Bukovina, or Gogu Puyu in Dobrogea, embodied the spirit of defiance. They held their heads high during a time when most people bowed their heads to totalitarianism. Every bullet they fired, every life they lost, was a cry for freedom, a plea for justice. In the face of overwhelming odds, they never wavered. They fought not just for themselves, but for the freedom of their people and their country. So what legacy did these brave men leave behind? Their fight was not in vain. The courage and resilience of these men were a beacon of hope in a time of despair. They stood as a testament to the human spirit, an embodiment of the will to resist, to fight for freedom, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Their actions inspired generations. They were the sparks that ignited the fires of resistance across Eastern Europe, setting the stage for the eventual fall of the Iron Curtain. Their fight for freedom and democracy was a powerful statement, a message that resonated far beyond the borders of Romania. The legacy of these men is seen in the spirit of defiance, the refusal to bow to totalitarianism that still exists in many parts of the world today. They are a reminder that the fight for freedom is never futile, that every act of resistance carries a weight far beyond its immediate impact. They may not have won their battle, but they left an indelible mark on the history of their country and the world. In the end, they were defeated, captured, imprisoned, but their memory endures,